Welcome to Backyard Basics. I'm Tricia Shirey. We have a lot of pests to worry about, especially in the early spring, and I know a lot of gardeners who have just stopped growing squash altogether because of the dreaded squash vine borer. And it can be a real challenge. It's actually a moth that lays its eggs on your squash, and then the worm will hatch from the egg, crawl inside your squash stem, and eat it from the inside out. So the only way I have really found foolproof to grow squash is to net the plants. As soon as my seeds or plants hit the ground, I have micro mesh or some other kind of netting over the plants, and I use my rebar hoops, which you've seen here on the show, and I use binder clips from the Office Supply, the medium binder clips, to clip that onto the rebar, and I leave that in place until the squash has its male and female flowers. At that point, you need to pollinate them. I usually just pull the netting off and let the bees do that. Eventually, the vine borers will come in and take over the plants, but it at least gives me a 6 to 8 weeks of harvest, and then I just plant another crop of squash to follow and net that too. Now you can also get tulle, and this is available. You can get it at fabric stores and online. It's much less expensive, probably only going to get one season of use from it, but it does come in wider widths than the micro mesh, so that's another option for you. And if you want to self-pollinate your squash, you can keep it covered and pollinate the flowers yourself. Now another thing, especially with the wet weather that we've been having, snails and slugs are a real problem. And there are a couple of ways you can deal with them. Now, doing the grapefruit and other citrus traps, you put those upside down on the ground, and then the snails, slugs, pill bugs will crawl under them, and then you'll scoop them up early in the morning and dispose of them. Coffee grounds, when dried and put around the base of your plants, can act as a deterrent to snails and slugs, but I really feel like the beer traps can be even more effective than those two. This is a slug saloon. You can put your beer inside, and it has a cover in case your pets like to consume the beer too. It keeps it protected. It also keeps the rain out of the traps. But I do find that cat food cans and tuna fish cans aren't quite deep enough to really be effective for those large snails that I get. So I like to use a little bit deeper container. I'll sometimes use a pint-sized cottage cheese or sour cream container, or something that about at least this deep. And you want to bury that so that just the lip of the container is showing on top of the soil, and only put about 1 inch of beer inside. You can experiment with different kinds of beer. You could also use yeast with a little bit of sugar or honey to activate it, and water, and that will also attract the slugs. Now, another product that you might look for is something with iron phosphate. Iron phosphate granules are mixed with a bait that attracts the snails and slugs, and you actually want to wet the soil when you put this on, and these granules will cause the snails to die, and then you'll just see empty shells on the ground. Perennial plants that might be bordering your garden can sometimes act as habitat for snails and slugs, so you might want to prune that rosemary or other herbal shrubs up a little bit to have a little bit of breathing space so that it doesn't provide habitat for the snails to lay their eggs. So these are some of the ways you can control some of those really serious garden pests. For Backyard Basics, I'm Tricia Shirey. Thanks for watching.